Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. Pope Francis addressed members of the Federation of Catholic Family Associations in Europe on June 1st at the Vatican. The Pope told them that upholding the sacredness of human life becomes concrete when generations work together to serve everyone. Rome Reports has more on the Pope's address.
Pope Francis received this warm welcome this morning from Catholics both big and small as he met with the European Federation of the Association of Catholic Relatives in the Apostolic Palace. They have come to Rome to celebrate the 20th anniversary of their federation. The Pope spoke to them about the importance of the family and the beauty of mutual love. However, he also said that amidst beauty there is a crisis.
Crisi di diverso tipo affiorano attualmente in Europa, compresa nell'istituzione familiare, ma le crisi sono sproni per lavorare di più e meglio con fiducia e speranza. 4 crisi specialmente attraversano l'Europa in questo momento: quella demografica, l'inverno demografico, quella migratoria, quella lavorativa e quella educativa.
Pope Francis told them that positive solutions could be found if people involved in social, economical, and political areas united to create policies that benefited families.
Il vostro servizio alla sacralità della vita si concretizza nell'alleanza tra le generazioni, si concretizza nel servizio a tutti, che vede ogni giovane come soggetto degno di tutto l'amore familiare, si concretizza nel diritto alla vita del nascituro che ancora non ha voce, si concretizza in condizioni di vita degne per gli anziani.
In news now from around the world, the annual Uganda Martyrs Day observance takes place June 3rd, and hundreds of thousands will travel on pilgrimage from around Uganda and around the world to the Uganda Martyrs Basilica and Shrine in Namugangu to honor the memory of 22 Catholic saints who lost their lives because of their faith from 1885 to 1887. The Catholic saints, along with 23 Anglican converts to Christianity, were killed on orders of a local king, Kabaka Mwanga, in the historical kingdom of Buganda, which is now part of Uganda. Witnesses recorded the deaths, detailing how they were chopped by axes and later burned in fire. Some of them reportedly died while singing songs praising God. The Catholic Church beatified the Catholic martyrs in 1920. They were canonized in 1964. June 3rd was set as the day to celebrate the martyrs. A basilica was constructed at Namugangu, the place where the martyrs were killed, and later several other structures were put in place to accommodate people who arrived to celebrate the day. More news from the Vatican. An international meeting in Rome will be taking place in October to address the abuse of minors on the internet. The Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors will be one of the groups involved in the meeting, entitled Child Dignity in the Digital World. Rome Reports has more from the Vatican.
Threats that are presented to children on the internet continue to increase with the latest technologies, be it from sexting and cyberbullying to online extortion. The Vatican's Gregorian University wants to provide technical, educational, and legal solutions to curb these issues that endanger the youngest.
We need to realize that the internet is a very precious instrument for communication, for connecting people and whatsoever. But the internet has brought also many risks, and one major risk is that concerning the abuse of minors on the internet by the dissemination of sexual images and videos, and the use and abuse of this instrument in social media also by young people themselves.
From experience, it is known that dangers continually evolve and change, and thus society must act in a coordinated way to prevent future problems.
There is much that is on the way and it has been developed. It is not so effective as it should be, and the internet providers know that, and that's not their fault in the first place, because young people are very smart in dealing with this and going around such, for example, filters.
Pope Francis supports this international meeting on child dignity in the digital world and will meet with the participants in the Vatican.
Proposed to him that he participates, or better, that we be received by him in an audience at the end of the Congress, and without any further ado, he He said he was willing to do so.
The meeting will be held in Rome from October 3rd to 6th and is actively supported by the global alliance We Protect, one of the most active organizations in the fight against internet child abuse, as well as representatives of the British, German, and Italian governments.
News from around the country now. Coming up on the weekend of July 1st and 2nd, dioceses across the country will be taking up the worldwide Pence collection. The funds from the collection go towards Pope Francis's outreach to the suffering and marginalized people worldwide, providing relief to victims of war, religious persecution, and natural disasters. For more information about the Pence collection, you can visit usccv.org/ppc. And finally in the news, the Major Archbishop of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church has passed away. Rome Reports has more on his life and legacy.
Cardinal Lumbaumer-Huser has died in the Ukraine. He was 84 years old and he was the Major Archbishop of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, the biggest Eastern church in communion with Rome. At age 11, he had to flee from Ukraine due to the arrival of the Soviet Union. Years later, he was clandestinely ordained bishop because the Vatican did not want to offend the USSR. He did not return to his country until 1991. When he did, he started reviving his church, which experienced 60 years of catacombs, the martyrdom of 3,000 priests in Siberia, and the confiscation of their churches.
During the times of persecution, our church, through the grace of God, naturally, survived. But in a certain sense, we have to be very conscious that notwithstanding all the difficulties, it was in a certain sense easier because things were pretty much black and white. Now that we have been liberated, and now that we face the world that does not persecute us directly, we have to find the inner force and the inner conviction to be living members of Christ's church. And this is not always so easy.
The Cardinal, who became a U.S. citizen, studied at St. Basil's College Seminary in Stamford, Connecticut. He continued his studies at the Catholic University of America in Washington and Fordham University in New York. He was ordained a priest of the Ukrainian Diocese of Stamford in 1958. His funeral was scheduled for June 5th in Kiev. Well, that's all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV network.